Okay, here we are. A brief look at the SPL going into 2019. Now, we're on the verge of the transfer window opening in about 48 hours. And let's have a look at where the SPL teams are at this stage. Obviously, tomorrow we will look at the Premier League when all the Premier League fixtures are done for the year of 2018. We'll look at the SPL first. Celtic are top with 42 points. However, they lost to Rangers yesterday. Rangers also have 42 points. Kilmarnock are in third with 41. So it's a multi-horse race for the title because Aberdeen are in fourth with 39. So it's not Celtic's title just yet. There's a little bit more fight in some of these teams this year than last, and the league is far more interesting this year than in previous seasons. Long-time leaders Hearts aren't actually that far back with 36 points from fifth, and St Johnstone are sixth with 34. So there's only 8 points separating the top six. After that, there's a bit of a gap to Livingston, who've had a very, very good season, considering they departed ways with Kenny Miller, the player manager, after a few weeks into the season. They've had a very good first season back in the Scottish Premiership. They're only 12 points off the title, and they're 20 points off relegation. So I think Livingston are having a very, very good season. Hibernian, a bit of a disappointing season with 29 points. Neil Lennon, jury's out. Neil Lennon for me. I think he's a very outspoken man in the game, but is he the right guy to lead Hibs forward and get Hibs some silverware? Because they, in eighth, have underwhelmed me. I expected them to be a bit further up. Motherwell in ninth are just by themselves. They've got nothing to chase. They're 8 points behind Hibs. They're 7 points above Hamilton. They're in the middle of nowhere. They are your average, your standard mid-table team. They're not really going to do much in the way of compete for the European places, and they're not going to do much in the way unless they have a horrific drop-off in form of be a relegation candidate. Motherwell are just in no man's land, so the best they can hope for is a good run in the Scottish Cup, because they are doing nothing in the league, and I'm disappointed with Motherwell. I am. Hamilton regularly battling against relegation season in, season out. They have 14 points. I'm concerned about Hamilton. Their goal difference is horrific, although I haven't put that on the board because that would just mean lots of numbers and chaos. Hamilton have got a very poor goal difference. However, their goal difference I think is better than St Mirren and Dundee, who are worse, and they've got more points, but they are in a desperate situation. One win from St Mirren and Hamilton are in trouble. St Mirren are behind them on 12 points and have been second bottom all season. These three have been the bottom three for most of the season. Dundee 12th and last with 10 points sums up where Dundee are. And considering their near neighbours, Dundee United have just had a new owner and are aiming to get back in to the SPL. It would be a shame if and I think a worry if only one Dundee side were in the SPL. I think both Dundee and Dundee United are, I think, make the SPL a better place, but Dundee have just been horrific this season. They couldn't win a game for months. They had a terrible start. They finally got their first win, their first points. They've been playing catch-up. They've had a decent run of form to catch up to St Mirren, but they are still in trouble. There's still a ways to go. And they're 4 points from safety, and it looks like an uphill task. Now, if you notice, the Celtic are top. Now, there is a reason why Celtic are top. One, their goal difference is better than Rangers. That would be a given. But also, they have a game in hand. Also, so do St Johnstone. St Johnstone and Celtic have a game in hand. They've got to play each other as virtue of Celtic's European exploits. That could prove crucial. If St Johnstone win that game in hand, they go fifth. If Celtic win that game in hand, they go 3 points clear. However, if either of those sides lose that game in hand, Livingston can close the gap on St Johnstone, and Celtic could slip as far as fourth. Unlikely with their goal difference, but in theory they could slip as far as fourth. So while Celtic are top, it's a precarious top in the sense that they have the one game in hand. And it can all change. And as we've seen this season, 4 different teams have led the Premier League in Scotland at various points. Hearts were the long-time leaders earlier on in the season. They've slipped back a little bit. Kilmarnock have swapped around a couple of times. I think they've been top twice. Rangers have been top at least once. Celtic have been top, I think, twice. So 4 different teams have had a taste of leading the SPL. All 4 of them are still in the title race, although Hearts have weakened somewhat in recent weeks and they have slipped further back. Aberdeen have got into the race. Now, Aberdeen and Celtic have both had very slow starts this season, really underwhelmed with their starts. Aberdeen have been on a tear recently. Celtic have had some decent form as well, and they've got themselves involved in the conversation again. Both Aberdeen and Celtic were expected to be at the top. Kilmarnock weren't. Hearts weren't. So it seems to be a power shift in Scottish football, which can only be a good thing. We've seen Celtic dominate the league now since Rangers' financial issues really came home to roost, and they were expelled from the SPL and had to sort of rebrand the team and re-register the team and start in the bottom professional division. It's been Celtic's title for the best part of a decade. That's not necessarily a good thing for Scottish football. If Aberdeen, Kilmarnock, Hearts, St Johnstone, if one of them can get the name on the title, because I can see St Johnstone still having a part to play in this title race as well, it will benefit the league more than if Celtic won. Plus, Celtic missing out on the Champions League qualification has harmed the Scottish League with the coefficient. So it's going to be tougher for Scottish teams to compete in Europe going forward. It will be interesting to see, what happens in the transfer window. Celtic need to make some signings. I think Rangers might have to sell a couple of players to bring some players in. Kilmarnock, Steve Clark has done a real great job with Kilmarnock. A few additions here or there won't hurt. But it's the lack of money in the Scottish League that means the transfer market is not really going to be that important. I think only a couple of teams can afford to spend any money. And with transfers as they are overinflated and overpriced, teams like Dundee, St Mirren, Hamilton, they can't compete. Livingston are on the smallest budget. They're seventh, so I think they should be happy with where they are. They might sell one or two players, but only some of the teams up at this end of the table can compete in the transfer market at the national level when bringing players in, and it's a really warped system. But going forward, I think it's going to be a 5, possibly 6 horse race. I would say. Where is it? Where's my? Okay, here we go. I would say it's going to be a 6 horse race. Anything above 6th upwards will have a chance in the title race. I would say anyone above that line going up, it's not Celtic's to have. It's going to have to be fought for. 8 points cover 6 places. When was the last time you said that about the SPL at this stage of the season? That the top 6 would be separated by 8 points. And St Johnstone have proven they got a bit about them this season as well. And if they win that game against Celtic, the game in hand that both teams have, it makes things more interesting at the top. But Celtic do have that superior goal difference. But couple more defeats, and that goal difference doesn't mean now when you're dropping points, and they drop points to Rangers. So there we are. Quick look at the SPL going into 2019. It's exceptionally interesting. I think anything above 6th, it could get really jumbled up. Only 2 of the sides in the top 6 haven't led the SPL this season. Again, when was the last time you could say that? And it's going to be really interesting. Second half of the season. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.